world could be changed forever. Two types of weapons, hypersonic missiles and lasers, hold the power to destroy Imagine, in just a moment, and only two countries have the ability to deploy them, the United States and China. Are we approaching a conflict where even the two superpowers, former enemies, now stand crossroads that could determine the future of modern war standoff with Navy power? In recent years, threats from China have become clearer than ever, and while this mistake could throw the world into chaos, let's dive into what's really happening. It has always projected strength. It has responded with fierce tension. In August 2020, a highly tense event unfolded in the South. PLA conducted a large-scale ballistic missile test community. The People's Liberation Army, a strategic area not only for China, but also a hotspot for the entire. This wasn't just a routine drill. It was a bold, with ballistic missiles capable of reaching up to 1,900 miles, about 3,000 kilometers. The PLA sent a clear message of power, simulating a direct attack on the enemy's modern warships, launching a series of missiles from land-based sites into the region. Called China's Carrier Killer, can travel at hypersonic speeds and evade modern air defense systems, something any U.S. or foreign warships attempting to intervene in this region could become targets of China's missiles. But what's truly remarkable is that these missiles are not ordinary munitions. The DF-21D ballistic missiles are still struggling to counter effectively. These missiles are designed to strike fast-moving targets like aircraft. So the question many of our viewers are asking is, in a world destroying critical naval assets from a distance without ever needing to get close to the enemy, does the U.S. and its allies have what it takes to counter this? More and more great powers are entering the hypersonic and America's own hypersonic missiles, but fast enough to intercept Chinese missiles but destroy expensive warships? The answer may lie in the development of new defense systems like laser weapon warning messages to the U.S. Will America take these messages seriously? When U.S. reconnaissance aircraft like the RC-135 of this video, this is just one of many military drills by China. If you have your own answer, feel free to share it in the comments. Appear just as China conducts missile tests. This particular missile test by China wasn't just a military exercise. It was a powerful statement of the PLA's combat. Likely they're not just observing, they're collecting vital information on these weapons capable of striking distant targets with precision, both at sea and land. The DF-21D, with a range, and DF-26B, two extremely dangerous. The missiles launched in this exercise were the DF-20. Notably, the DF-21D is equipped with a warhead 100 to 1,900 miles, can hit fast-moving, large-target aircraft carriers. It's a medium-range ballistic that can destroy warships from afar without ever getting it easy to bypass the defense systems of warships, travel at hypersonic speeds, and features a highly accurate guidance system. The DF-26B, a medium to intermediate range, including the advanced air defense systems used by the U.S. Alongside has a range of up to 3,500 miles and can strike targets at extremely long without immediate retaliation. This missile can target large assets, including military warships and other critical infrastructure. Not only capable of attacking warships, the DF-26B can also strike strategic. What's notable is that both of these types not only have impressive ranges, but they're also designed to strike precisely at hits, presenting a comprehensive threat to the U.S. and its allies. Reach targets. These missiles can travel at hypersonic speeds, making them weapons when closing in on their targets. These missiles pose a serious threat to the U.S. Navy, in a scenario where the U.S. might need to intervene in a conflict in Taiwan. The United States possesses the most powerful fleet in the world, with massive air. However, while China doesn't possess equivalent, is twice the size of all the other countries' carriers combined. Carriers that account for a quarter of the total number of aircraft carriers. The deck area of U.S. aircraft carriers, they might not need to use them. Instead, they could long-range ballistic missiles like the DF-20 and DF-26 to strike and penetrate of U.S. warships. The threat from these missiles, an urgent challenge for the U.S. How can they do the current U.S. defense systems have strength to protect the giant warships from being these hypersonic missiles before they hit their counter China's maritime threats? Many members of Navy Power believe that the US has launched a secret project called Meteor in mere seconds. To address this, the goal of this project is to develop a directed energy weapon. The ability of directed energy weapons far exceeds that of lasers, especially in ability to penetrate defense layers when faced with highly durable targets, or being affected by environmental factors like rain, dust, or fog. Wide-scale targeting, the flexibility of their effects. Laser weapons, while extremely accurate and able to burn a target instantly, still have certain limitations, being affected by weather conditions. They generate microwave pulses that can simultaneous wide-scale attacks, which is especially useful. In contrast, directed energy weapons can attack targets from a distance or disrupt the electronics of defense systems, radar, or even weapons control systems of the enemy. DDBUs can launch without the need to reload, like traditional munitions, at once is crucial. With the ability to combat situations with large numbers of targets, such as drone or warship attacks, where hitting multiwaves at incredible speeds, DDBUs not only provide rapid attack capabilities, but can also fire. One of the standout advantages of DDBUs is their ability to produce effects. Most notably, effects depending on the situation. For example, they can jam signals or create powerful. Furthermore, unlike traditional weapons, DDBUs don't require relay missiles to evade or obscure. These missiles would be neutralized instantly before they have a chance to detect the source. Speeds approaching the speed of light, the microwaves from DDBUs are almost impossible for each use. As long as there's a power source, a major advantage is the low cost per shot, allowing the US to deploy this weapon effectively without worrying about resources, can keep attacking without being limited by the number of munitions. According to our research, the cost per DDBUs could be much lower than traditional weapons, millions of dollars per launch, the cost of using a DDBU or munitions. While a modern missile system, such as the US SM-3 missile, designed to counter ballistic missiles, costs about $3 million, typically ranges from a few thousand to thousands of dollars, thanks to the lack of expensive munitions or reloading launch. In contrast, the operational $50,000 per shot, depending on the design and scale of the system, significantly reduce costs in long-term conflicts, while allowing the EU system could be as low as $10,000. This means that strategically, HPM, high-power microwave technology weapon in the showdown between these two superpowers. If you also predict that this technology will become the prime forces to use weapons more flexibly without worrying about resource limitation. Could HPM become the game-strategic tool for the US Navy, helping them maintain? Drop a 1 in the comments below this video. In recent, the rapid development of new weapons has forced the entire over the oceans and protect freedom of navigation from China's growing threats, while having to launch missiles worth millions to destroy them. It's an unbearable disparity, and we're world to search for effective, lower-cost defense solutions. Imagine an extremely challenging situation. The US must deal with cheap drones worth just $1,000, only have a limited amount of defensive missiles, and without, resupply is not a simple task, as their bases could be thousands of miles away. Standoff between the US Navy and Houthi forces in the Red Sea. Naval warfare, the situation becomes even worse, especially regarding the use of non-traditional weapons and drone technology. The Houthi forces, an armed group with ties to Iran, their attacks on US and allied warships in the region, has garnered significant international attention, revealing a shift in modern warfare tactics. Missiles at US Navy warships, some of the advanced warships in the world. In recent months, the Houthis have launched anti-ship missiles can be fired from land or small warships and are capable of flying at high speeds and long ranges, enough to strike targets at sea without difficulty for the US Navy to respond quickly. But it doesn't stop there. Often carried out in surprise scenarios, making it immediately detected. Moreover, these that can carry explosive warheads and autonomously crash into targets. Small armed groups can use to inflict significant damage on large. This is a low-cost, high-impact form of attack. These have also used suicide drones. You alter their flight path, complicating the defense systems of warships, without the need for resources like ballistic missiles. These drones, particularly noteworthy about these attacks, is the use of unmanned vehicles fly into the target area, but also have the capability, or ships, are equipped with explosives and remotely controlled to crash into warships with the goal of this type of attack, though low cost, explosives. These vehicles, which could be small, unmanned, but significant damage, especially if the enemy warship cannot react, meet demand in these scenarios. So, in response, the US has had to rely on expensive defense, or if its defense systems are not strong enough. But a major issue is that supply can. Here, Meteor's HPM threat of China's hypersonic missiles and the proved to be a game changer. Instead of availability of low-cost weapons from around the world, can the US Navy rely on an alternative solution? Costly surface-to-air missiles to counter small threats, PM could become a key component of the US Navy's long-term defense strategy and can intercept targets at an earlier stage, expensive missiles for larger threats. Not only that, with its high-energy capabilities, that's why the US has requested over $9 million for the Meteor. But until HPM technology can fully replace in fiscal year 2025, and $13.5 million for the previous year, when the program was still called Red Cat defense systems, the US Navy will still have to rely on familiarly be considered the eighth wonder of the world. Ballistic missiles. These missiles, whether for offense or defense, ballistic have always been the top choice for the world's most powerful nations. The SM-6 is one of the most noteworthy weapons, including the United States, with its massive arsenal. Among the ballistic missiles in the US Navy's inventory, the SM-6 is equipped with a fragmentation warhead. This capability allows the SM-6 to take down targets quickly, even when capable of destroying targets through direct impact or by using the debris from the explosion, increases its effectiveness and reduces the chances of the enemy evade at high speeds or have advanced defense system. The hypersonic missiles, which are becoming an increasingly significant global. This also makes the SM-6 an ideal choice. One of the standout feeding against ballistic missiles launched from outer space. In combat scenarios, ballistic missiles may travel into space. SM-6 is its ability to destroy targets in low Earth orbit, intercept these missiles while they are still falling back down, providing entering to strike targets on land or at sea. The SM-6. Furthermore, the SM-6 can also be used with its precision strike capabilities from hundreds of miles away. The SM-6 helps the US Navy maintain superiority at sea, stopping defense not just for warships, but also for military forces, enemy warships, particularly aircraft carriers and large warships, from a distance without needing to get too close to the target. SM-6 has truly become the US Navy's space shield, helping protect their dominance over strategic sea areas. According to ships from missile threats, drones, and even hypersonic weapon attacks. As maritime threats continue to rise, the SM-6 is not only a powerful air defense weapon, but also an essential part of the US Navy's comprehensive defense system, protecting distance and protecting warships, including aircraft carriers, from enemy attacks. Thanks to this versatile, only weapon in America's arsenal capable of intercepting high maneuverability hypersonic threats. This is no accident. The SM-6 stands out due to its unique design. It combines the dual-stage Admiral John Hill, head of the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, the SM system of the SM-3, the airframe of the SM-2, and the sea missile, but also capable of intercepting warhead of an advanced medium-range air-to-air missile. This makes the SM-6 not just a conventional beyond the radar range of a warship. This is particularly important when facing long-range threats that exceed the radar's control range. According to our research, the cost of an depending on the configuration and the number of units or missile, ranges from $1.5 million to $2 million. However, many believe that considering the cost and effectiveness of opposing hypersonic missiles, the SM-6 still provides a system which can cost up to $3 million per missile, such as the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense, BM. Although the cost of each missile is not cheap, it is still much lower than traditional ballistic missile defense systems, forming the longest-range missile intercept in U.S. Navy history. In 2016, the SM-6 set a record, weighing 3,500 pounds, one effective protection at a reasonable cost. If you agree with this thought, leave a 1 in the comments. Traveling through space and achieving speeds of Mach tons and carrying a 140-pound, 63.5 kilograms warhead faster than any aircraft, including the SM-6 can reach altitudes of over 33 miles, 53 Blackbird, the fastest jet in the world. Guided by an inertial navigation system combined with semi-active and active radar in the final stage, 20 kilometers. With all these features, it's no surprise that the Meteor SM-6 can accurately strike targets at ranges up to 230 miles, 300 support and complement it. Together, PM weapons cannot replace the SM-6, value, speed, or maneuverability. So, two weapons will form a perfect defense and offense duo, helping the U.S. Navy protect its warships from any type of weapon. What do you think about the future of the U.S. Navy when combining such powerful strategic weapons, HPM and SM-6? They become a golden pair, providing a solid shield against increasingly sophisticated threats from modern weapons like hypersonic missiles and drone attacks. HPM and SM-6 are not just weapons that protect warships, they open a new chapter in the U.S. Navy's strategy, helping them maintain superiority below. And safeguard their most valuable assets. Could this be the next step for the U.S. to solidify its military power in this ever-changing world? We'd love your thoughts on this combination. Do you believe this is the future of naval defense, or are there other noteworthy solutions out there? Share your opinions in the also represent the most advanced technology and superior. Submarines are not only invisible war machines, across vast maritime territories, defense capabilities, helping to protect national security and equipped with modern weapon systems and the ability to remain perfect underwater. Submarines play a crucial role in ensuring a long-term strategy to maintain military strength. Manufacturing and perfecting submarines is not only a move to protect territorial integrity, strategic superiority, and maintaining stability for nations on the high seas. The fact that countries are investing billions of dollars into researching submarines that meet the global defense needs in long-range warfare situations. Prominent in the field of modern submarine development, the Swedish company Saab Kockums has established itself as a leader with its advanced opening up a new future for next-generation continuous innovation, have produced submarines in the face of increasing maritime threats. Their cutting-edge technology capable of extended underwater operations, enhancing the combat effectiveness of naval forces. Saab Kockums is currently manufacturing a line of submarines powered by independent propulsion, AIP systems, an advanced technology that allows submarines to stay submerged for extended without having to surface. AIP technology fully overcomes limitations of traditional diesel-electric submarines, which require surface recharge and provide oxygen for their engines. Rather than relying on fuel and oxidizers to generate energy without the need for external, the greatest benefit of this technology lies in its ability to enhance the power of the engines. As in the past, the AIP system uses a chemical reaction that allows submarines to operate continuously for weeks underwater without the need to surface, the time when they are most vulnerable to radar or surveillance. Additionally, this system optimizes energy performance status and minimizing detection is critical. AIP technology and invisibility of submarines. In military missions, maintaining experience and exported 7 classes of submarines to 3 reduces engine noise and allows submarines to operate quietly and efficiently. Saab is particularly proud of having accumulated over 100 continents, not only in production on model-based definition, ensuring that product data is always secure. Each part of the submarine undergoes rigorous testing and protected optimally. The work does not stop, but they also lead with a fully digitized process times that of the atmosphere. Just imagine how extreme that hyperbaric test chamber, one of the largest test chambers in the world. Here, components are subjected to conditions equivalent to a depth of over 200 feet underwater, with pressure 100. Video on the Navy Power Channel, and let us know. Do you know which ceremonies mark the beginning and the grand journey of a submarine? Leave a comment. Construction process is also tied to meaningful traditional ceremonies. Not only is there modern technology, but the strict tests, the submarine is a free. After passing a series, one of these is the keel laying, where the name or signature of the sponsor is welded onto a steel plate attached to the hull. During this ceremony, the submarine will be presented with the naval flag, symbolizing its integrity to its readiness for combat. Delivered during the commissioning ceremony. This is a solemn event that marks the submarine's comprehensive completion. From design and ceremony, the submarine officially joins the naval forces, is delivered, and becomes operational. The nation's maritime territory, the fleet, and the beginning of its mission. The event took place in a solemn atmosphere, with the participation of military completion, but also a testament to the unity. The flag was raised officially, marked the submarine's full readiness to take on its senior officials and representatives of the sponsors. The moment. This is not only a milestone of the commissioning ceremony. Share your experience with us in the comments below. The submarine only carries modern technology, but also symbolizes the strength, resilience, and determination and unwavering sacrifice of the naval soldiers who will navigate the submarine on its challenging journeys. If you've ever participated in a keel-laying sea, it must undergo rigorous maintenance, and when the submarine is pulled into the dock of the entire naval force. However, to ensure the submarine is always ready to face any where the dry dock plays a crucial role in maintaining modern combat systems and crucial equipment include. The process begins by draining all the water. Every system and structure must be thoroughly inspected, from the hull to the electronics, engines, and submarine, creating space for engineers and maintenance experts to work safely and effectively to ensure the submarine can continue to changes in military technology and new combat requirements. When the submarine reaches midlife, a comprehensive upgrade process is. Our weapons and defense systems must also be upgraded. Tugboats are needed, these silent heroes of the open sea, effectively in harsh combat environments. Interestingly, to bring the submarine into the dry dock, not only do tugboats pull and push ships, but they also serve as rescue vessels in emergency situations and are specifically designed to handle port operations or support the Navy. Into the sea, the preparation process. When the submarine completes its maintenance and is ready from simple, the dry dock is filled with water, and close coordination and meticulous planning between teams across the entire shipyard brought in. At first glance, this might seem easy, but departing from the port, the tugboats play a key role, pulling the submarine out just as they did when it was. Once it leaves the dock, the submarine rejoins the fleet, and the crew is ready. Could disrupt the entire process? If so, comment 1 below. Do you think that just one out new missions? However, life on a submarine is nothing like our everyday life. Notably, sailors are often assigned to submarines typically last about 6 months, while ballistic missile submarines may operate for 3. For fast attack submarines or cruise missile submarines in the U.S. Navy, 3 years, after which they take leave on land for 2 to 3 years. Have you ever imagined what life would be like without cell phone signals or windows to everything is harsh? One of the highlights is something many sailors highly appreciate. On the nuclear-powered Virginia-class world, this is normal for submarine sailors. In USS South Dakota, one of the key elements in maintaining the morale and health of the crew is they are not just cooks, they are artists, creating a variety of nutrition prepared by a team of 7 talented to meet the needs of the 135 sailors on board. One of the biggest challenges needs of the sailors during their long journey. Meals are not just foods on a submarine, is preparing meals in the cramped space and with limited ingredients. Meals must be prepared before each shift, usually 4 hours in advance of serving, and the dishes need to meet to ensure that the meals are varied, nutritious, and still creative. They are a great morale booster for the sailors. From pizza, omelets, and puddings to giant feel more connected to the outside world. The kitchen team on the submarine has to plan to preparing the main meals. The kitchen team faces the challenge of managing the food supplies effectively, ensuring all the meals are carefully prepared and beautifully presented. Ingredients are used optimally without waste. This is crucial because the submarine journey at sea. Therefore, the kit is not just cooking, they are also food management, not receive additional supplies from outside, ensuring each meal meets nutritional. However, life beneath the sea is far from easy. The space inside a submarine is very, with narrow aisles and tiny sleeping quarters, making comfort nearly, and especially the sailor's taste preference distant. Sailors must live in a way which requires flexibility and strong organizational skills. 6 to 8 hours, taking on different tasks, maximized, just enough for one person to move around. They work in a confined environment where every square meter volume workload demands that the sailors work in harmony, ensuring everything runs smoothly, despite the submarine must produce its own water and oxygen in difficult conditions. Moreover, also depends on its food supplies, as the longer it stays the more critical the need for food and other essential supplies becomes. The heart of the submarine is the control room, where every operation of the submarine is monitored and to sustain the crew throughout the journey. However, the submarine's ability to remain enlisted or officer plays a vital role in running the submarine. In this harsh, it's not only modern technology that keeps the submarine. Every crucial decision is made. Every sailor. This is not only where the systems are operated, but also the submarine's core. These individuals aren't just soldiers. They are individuals willing to spend months underwater to complete heroes working tirelessly beneath the ocean, but also the dedication and expertise of each sailor. What do you think about the untold stories from the depths of the sea? Does life on a submarine make you curious, or inspire missions that few outside can truly leave a comment below, and we'll create more interesting videos about the life of sailors at sea for you. Admiration for these dedicated individuals. If so, don't forget to follow the Navy Power channel to stay updated on exciting military content. See you in the next oceans. With current global tensions, no one can confront the Mediterranean, highlighting the delicate balance of power. Imagine a Russian submarine unexpectedly surfacing near a U.S. aircraft carrier. Such confrontations have occurred before, but this requires deep understanding and careful deliberation. So, what would happen next in a confrontation between a Russian and a U.S. aircraft carrier? Let's explore this scenario with Navy Power. That such events are impossible. Emitting sound waves and analyzing their echoes to pinpoint the location of submarines. Powerful sonar systems act as underwater. The first line of defense lies in sophisticated detection. Advanced signal processing technology helps distinguish backs from the unique sounds of a deeply submerged submarine. The U.S. Navy to detect potential threats with precision and timeliness. Sonar works by emitting sound waves underwater and analyzing the turn after encountering an object. When these sound waves hit an submarine, they bounce back and are captured by the sonar system. This system not only accurately identifies the position of and in complex underwater environments, sonar allows U.S. war submarine, but also provides critical information about its speed and of movement. Thanks to its ability to detect submarines, it maintains the upper hand in underwater conflicts. This technology also helps the U.S. Navy mitigate threats from outs and ensure national security. Submarines, creating a robust defense layer to protect vast ocean areas for signs of unusual activity. Enhanced detection capabilities. However, sonar isn't the only tool. Satellites and reconnaissance aircraft also. Additionally, underwater drones and other innovative technologies. Submarine is detected near a carrier group, the situation becomes serious. Communication between units become critically important. Potential threats. At this stage, the entire group is placed on high alert, with all personnel ready to respond for anti-submarine warfare, ASW, responses. Course and speed to form a tighter defensive formation, making it harder for the submarine to approach and facilitating better coordination. In such a scenario, the aircraft carrier and its escort ships utilize torpedoes, depth charges, or other detection devices would be deployed to locate the helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft equipped with sonar more precisely. Ships within the carrier would depend on various factors, including the specific situation, internationalized weapons to neutralize the threat, a strong defensive posture. Initial responses focus on gathering intelligence and protocols and rules of engagement. Crucial role in preventing misunderstandings and escalation. In such a high-alert situation, clear communication and diplomatic efforts, submarine surfaces near a carrier strike group, tensions can quickly escalate. Standard radio frequencies and dedicated communication channels, international maritime signal flags are used to direct contact between vessels. To convey basic messages. Beyond direct-to-ship communication, diplomatic channels between the US and Russia likely be activated. Embassies and military would work behind the scenes to clarify intentions, de-escalate tensions, and seek a peaceful resolution. On maritime safety also contribute to conflict resolution. International maritime laws and can handle the situation calmly and professionally, utilizing clear communication and establishing are not always sufficient to maintain peace on the seas. Channels to ensure safety and prevent uncontrolled escalation. However, communication and diplomacy. If a Russian submarine and a US aircraft carrier were to a series of complex tactical and strategic reactions, side would employ. Share your thoughts in the comments below. In an actual conflict, what strategies do you when a Russian submarine surfaces near a US aircraft carrier, like groups, CSGs, are critical components scenarios. Aircraft carriers are the crown jewels of the strike group, and protection is of paramount importance. Many strategies and considerations guide interactions in aircraft carrier accompanied by escort ships such as cruisers and Navy's defensive strategy, particularly in safeguarding aircrafts, the centerpiece of naval forces. CSGs typically include forming a tightly knit defensive force. Escort ships help identify and distinguish submarine noises, allowing to track submarines. The sonar systems. These escort ships play a vital role in defending the carrier from threats to enemy submarines, utilizing advanced sonar systems. Cruisers within the CSG are also equipped with effective anti-submarine attacks or intensified patrols. Time to react and deploy timely defensive measures, weapons, including anti-submarine missiles and other offensive systems. Beneath the ocean, warships and submarines from global superpowers engage in integral components of the US Navy's multidimensional defense strategy to neutralize threats from enemy submarines before they can approach them. CSGs are not only offensive forces, so of intent. Why would a submarine surface in the presence of a highly monitored or a carrier strike group? It becomes a confrontation, not just of strategy and technology, in CSG. It might be due to mechanical failure and complex environment, when a submarine surface might approach to provide assistance or an urgent need to communicate. Such situations require a calibrated response, as international maritime law has strict protocols, emergency aid and communication at sea. The safe distance to ensure that communication proceeds according to procedures. If the situation shows signs of hostility, tensions would rise immediately. At that, CSG is authorized to employ. These rules not only account the rules of engagement, RO would dictate the level of threat level, but also consider international protocols and course of events. In non-hostile situations, the carrier strike escalate conflicts whenever possible. The ultimate authority lies with the carrier group command, and each decision they make significantly international rules on freedom of navigation, generous, and, at times, closely track it to ensure it poses no danger. How free operations in international waters, maintain communication, or monitor the submarine from a safe do not interfere with the lawful activities of a CSG's response is likely to be more decisive, issuing direct warnings, both visual and verbal. However, if a submarine surfaces near U.S. territorial water, to prevent the submarine from breaching restricted zones. Maintaining a strong defense may also temporarily limit the carrier group to reallocate resources to monitor the submarine, delaying planned activities or training exercises. Such encounters can disrupt ongoing missions. Sophisticated hydrodynamic designs. Move is carefully calculated. In a world where technology and strategies continually evolve, modern submarines boast superior stealth capabilities thanks to noise reduction technologies. A standoff between a submarine and a carrier strike group is truly a chess game, where these features make them nearly invisible to detection systems, posing a significant threat to aircraft carriers. However, this does not render carrier groups equipped with torpedoes, anti-ship missiles, and mines. Advanced sonar systems, towed sonar arrays, ping sonar deployed from helicopters work in tandem to protective shield around the carrier. Escort ships in the group are also armed with anti-submarine weapons such as missiles, torpedoes, and depth charges to neutralize the threat. Employing coordinated maneuvers to make it difficult, submarine warfare, ASW tactics, are constantly Marines to track and predict the movements of the carrier group. Modern simulation and data analysis technology, key factor in maintaining superiority at the battlefield extends beyond underwater also aid commanders in predicting potential submarine activities to the realm of electronic warfare, while protecting their own networks from cyber attack. Conversely, submarines can also carrier strike groups utilize electronic warfare (EW) systems to jam enemy sonar and communicate electronic warfare to conceal their presence or disrupt the ASW efforts of their adversaries. Countering the submarine threat remains a topic, but also broader strategies for controlling the seas. These advancements influence not only projecting global power. For nations with carrier strike, the technological arms race where each side strives to gain the upper hand in the vast oceanic. History has witnessed intense standoffs between submarines and aircraft carriers is a constant game of adaptation, its breadth, intention. The 1970 Inset Strike Group in the Mediterranean was one of a Soviet submarine surfaced near a U.S. carriers, and each time the ocean seen tense confrontations between the two superpowers during the Cold War. Measures to monitor and detect enemy submarines. The U.S. as a military superpower utilized advanced sonar system, U.S. aircraft carriers, serving a strategic role in conflicts and tense situations, were prime targets with Soviet submarines operating near U.S. carriers. Americans had to act decisively, employing emergency countermeasures to submarines aiming to monitor and even threaten them, their forces, and prevent escalation into armed conflict. U.S. radar and sonar systems at the time played a crucial role in gathering tools to better understand the Soviet submarines' objectives. These measures included implementing defensive tactics, enhanced sonar surveillance, deploying warships, and underscoring the importance of maintaining diplomatic relations. Nevertheless, the tense standoff was eventually resolved through diplomatic channels and negotiations to avoid a full-scale war. In detecting enemy submarines and preventing potential strategic confrontations, we look forward to your insights. Throughout naval, submarine and aircraft carrier encounters have highlighted strength at sea. Join Navy Power and leave your comments. Do you think such encounters will continue as superpowers persist in Following such incidents, emergency communication channels were developed to ensure that calm judgment prevails during moments of heightened tension. Urgent need for clear communication protocols to avoid misunderstandings and escalation, involving a U.S. submarine and a Soviet carrier, demonstrating the advancement of modern submarines and raising Looking back at the late 20th century, declassified information revealed an incident group. The U.S. submarine remained undetected for an In 2006, a Chinese song, particularly in the development of sonar systems and advanced tracking methods, threats. This incident spurred investments in anti-submarine warfare, ASW technology, about the vulnerability of carrier groups to limits. Although the situation remained of clear communication to prevent misunderstandings. Submarine unexpectedly surfaced near a U.S. carrier strike group led by the U.S. It prompted a series of diplomatic actions and underscored the necessity warfare. EW would become a critical battleground. The carrier strike group could employ measures to jam and disrupt the subgroup's defensive perimeter. In such a scenario, imagine a submarine using advanced noise reduction technology breaking through the carrier presence and counter anti-submarine efforts. War games and simulations allow commanders. Expert analysis and simulations conducted by military strategists play a vital role in preparing for such events. Systems. while the submarine would attempt to conceal of the submarines and carrier strike groups involved, as well as environmental and international protocols. Strategies and tactics in controlled environments identify weaknesses and improve responses. These simulations account for various factors, such as the specific to ensure safety and prevent escalation of conflict. The objective is to anticipate challenges and develop effective response. The strategic impact of these events extends far beyond the direct confrontation. The insights gained from each situation have nations with carrier strike groups strive to maintain future technological developments and strategic decisions. In anti-submarine technology, while those relying on submarines constant advancements in stealth and weaponry. This push and pull dynamic between the two has defined the landscape of naval power, underscoring the importance of maintaining clear communication. Aircraft carriers and submarines are marvels of modern engineering, but they share the oceans. Beyond the strategic elements, environmental concerns are critical channels and fostering international cooperation. Life. A major issue is noise can disrupt their communication, hinder their ability and sonar on marine creatures. Imagine an extremely loud underwater vacuum cleaner. That's the effect, taking years for the ocean to recover. Fortunately, there are ways to mitigate these impacts. New designs feature incidents like oil spills or the destruction of sensitive seabed habitats can also food and even damage their hearing. Sensitive habitats. Through smart technology and some navies employ specialized sonar settings to reduce marine protection rules, such as designating shipping lanes that ocean. Nations also collaborate to establish international agreements. We can keep the oceans clean for all creatures, even as massive ships traverse waters. What are your thoughts on such encounters? How do you think these situations could influence global? Don't forget to like and subscribe to Navy Power for more fascinating comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or learned cycle dynamics, share your ideas